What is going on? Dylan Conrad, Metabolic Momma Secrets. Today I'm going to talk to you about why we need to cancel diet culture. Before I get into that, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you're listening to this on Spotify, iTunes, follow, turn notifications on. All helps the algorithm, all much appreciated. So canceling diet culture. I was actually listening to a podcast. It's called Call Her Daddy, and it's like a women's based. It's actually really funny. I actually like a lot of the host that, or not the host. I like the host, but I like a lot of the guests that she brings on. They just like cuss a lot, and they're very raunchy, and they talk about real stuff, and that's just really interesting. But she actually had a life coach on. The life coach was like, the whole subject was like, what we need to cancel diet culture. Like, it needs to be canceled. It's the worst thing ever. And she was saying that diet culture and dieting is a set of rules that you can fail at. And I kind of get where she's coming from on that, but I think we need to like just kind of like really take a step back and look at this. And I was actually Googling, I'm like, what does diet even mean? And for me, it means a modification of how you are eating to achieve a specific goal, right? On the dictionary, I'm reading it actually literally right here. There's a couple different meanings, but I think the ones that we kind of are looking at are one, habitual nourishment. So that's one of the meanings, is habitual nourishment, like nourishing yourself in a habitual way, right? And then the other one is a regimen of eating and drinking sparingly to achieve one's goals. So whether that's like health or reduction of weight, whatever it is. So that's kind of like first thing I wanted to go over. But I think like this woman actually was right in a lot of different ways. And the first one was like anything that you can have a set of rules on that you can like break. If you're looking in that regard, like, right, like everything's black and white and you have to follow these rules and it's like we as a society put so much demand on ourselves to achieve everything and anything and overachieve, and these perfectionist mindset, which if you kind of think about perfectionism, it's something that actually doesn't exist. Like you can't, unless you're a robot, you cannot be perfect on anything. And so if we're giving ourselves these really strict guidelines and rules that we're going to deviate from and say, like, if you deviate, you're horrible, and like beat yourself up and whatever. If I was a coach beating my client up about it, I would definitely agree. But I think we need to take a step back and look at like, okay, cool, like adjusting your nutrition like to achieve your goals. It's okay to achieve goals. Like, that's great. That's like what makes us better as humans, better as people, to set goals and like set out the path to achieve them. But putting these really these unattainable standards on ourselves or on society, you have to have perfect nutrition all the time, or you're a failure, or telling yourself that, what's the point, giving up. When we set these unattainable standards, that's kind of when things go sideways. And I'm always talking to my clients like, hey, someone just got back from a trip, for example, and she was like, hey, I'm gonna hit my new macros perfectly this week. Like, everything's gonna be dialed. And I'm like, it's good luck. Like, that's never gonna be the case. Life's gonna life. Instead, let's focus on like the habits that will hopefully get us to that place, which is like, okay, do you need to like plan your day accordingly with like food? Because she's at her like son's football games like all day long and doing work, and she's working a mom obviously and all this stuff. I'm like, do you need to plan your days better? Like, what's gonna put you in a better position so that you can succeed on these goals? Not like, I'm gonna make this perfect. Because when we set those strict guidelines on like, okay, like I have to be perfect or I fail, that's going to lead us to despair, right? Kind of just be like, why am I even doing this in the first place? It's going to lead us to dread, where we're not even like looking forward to doing these things. And then we're eventually just going to give up or beat ourselves up and just get into like a really negative mindset. And obviously exacerbated over time can result in disordered eating patterns. But this woman on the podcast, I think we really just need to be like, all of us as professionals, right? And she's a life coach. She's not a nutrition or training coach. So take it for what it is. Obviously there's a lot of carryover because I talk about like a lot of life coaching things, and they talk about a lot of diet things and nutrition and training things. But we all need to take a step back and like realize that dieting isn't the problem. It's these unattainable standards that we set upon ourselves and other people to actually achieve these things that really like aren't healthy, and really like it's not a good way of thinking in terms of like success, like reaching your actual goals. So do I think we need to cancel diet culture? Do I need to? No. And the main reason I don't is because we all have goals, right, for our health, and we want to stay here for a really long time. We also want to look our best. We're at the freaking beach and like, in our bikinis, and not ours, but your bikinis, and just like feeling confident, getting like you back, right? Like after you have kids or whatever you are, wherever you are in your life, you're in a different body that is not recognizable to you, not in terms of like what you're looking like, maybe it is, but I'm talking more about like the feeling of being in it, like carrying extra like 30-pound backpack that you're not used to. You don't feel like you anymore, right? And it's like that Snickers commercial, like you aren't you when you're hungry, but you aren't you when you don't feel great, right? And so it's really just getting back to that. And I do think that we need to modify our nutrition because we're not created as humans to have this surplus of food around all the time and be as stressed out to our mind. It's going to lead us to overeating and stress eating and like, all these like different things that are going on environmentally to trigger more hunger and like less satiation and more coping with food, right? That was never supposed to be the case. And yeah, I mean, 50% of all Americans are obese, and like that's fine, but and do you like whatever your goals are, but like I want everyone to live a long life, and I don't want anyone's family to be like looking back and be like, wow, like that person was kind of selfish in their approach because they literally were like killing themselves, by holding more weight than their body like should be, and like living less, and like that family is missing that person because they died earlier than they should have, right? Instead of extending their life. And so, yeah, I do think that we aren't created in this society the way it's set up. Like, we do need to modify how we ate around it, because if we just kind of like ate quote unquote intuitively and kind of just like did all that stuff, we would just gain weight because of all these different factors that are set up environmentally and just like within us, and then how we are with working and with having kids and like the stress that goes along with that. Yeah, we need to modify our approach on food. That's for sure. Like everyone does. If we kind of just ate what we wanted to eat, we would be like all on 500-pound life, and I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just saying that because like we need to take a step back again and really look at this whole picture and understand that, yeah, we do need to adjust the way we eat, because otherwise we would just eat what tastes good all the time and as much of it as we want, and that would lead to us gaining weight, right? So do I think we should cancel the diet culture? Absolutely. Well, the culture of it, any negativity associated with it, yeah, 100%. Like anything that's like making anyone feel like a failure or like they're being judged or anything that's like negative, yeah, I do think that needs to be canceled. But I think like modifying the way we eat, no, 100% not. Like we need to modify the way we eat so we can feel better, have more energy, live a long life, and just feel good in our own skin. So anyways, Dylan Conrad, Metabolic Momma Secrets. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. Make me earn it. If you didn't like this, don't like and subscribe. But if you did, please do. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day.